Today's article is entitled, Illegal Alien Transports Are Still Happening. Where would we be without groups like Judicial Watch? We'd be living in a nation filled with ignorant people, more ignorant than we currently are. We'd be living in a country that we thought was free and open and transparent, but in fact is not. We'd be living in the Soviet Union, minus the communism, jackboots, and food lines. Now, regardless of who resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, the swamp just keeps doing what they do. One of President Trump's major campaign issues was to solve the illegal immigration problem once and for all. And for his part, he's been doing an admirable job. But he can't do it all himself, and Judicial Watch has learned that he isn't getting much help from the swamp. Just yesterday it was reported that, quote, immigrants entering the United States illegally through the southern border are quietly being relocated to different parts of the country on commercial flights, high-ranking Homeland Security officials told Judicial Watch, unquote. Quote, in the last few days alone, groups of illegal aliens boarded planes at airports in Texas and Arizona, accompanied by a taxpayer-funded government escort in civilian clothes to avoid drawing attention, unquote. Judicial Watch adds that virtually all the passengers appeared to be older teenagers, and their escorts were officials from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, not Homeland. You may recall that HHS has experienced some turmoil recently. Former Secretary Tom Price was forced to resign in September over his use of private jets for multiple government business trips. So the obvious question that we all should be asking is how? How is this still happening? Trump has been in office for a year, yet the Obama policy of covertly ferrying illegals around the country still continues. Well, one answer that Trump supporters are not going to like is that the Trump administration has opted to, quote, quietly extend the controversial Obama-era policy that relocates illegal immigrants to unsuspecting communities nationwide, unquote. Now, I don't like it any more than you do, but I also trust Judicial Watch implicitly to report the truth. And worse, the Washington Times reported in November that, quote, the Trump administration reinstated a de facto catch-and-release policy for illegal immigrants nabbed crossing the border in Texas, with border agents being told Wednesday not to even bother turning them over for speedy deportation because there was no bed space, unquote, a top agent said. So what the heck is going on here? Is it possible the president is unaware of this? Well, he may very well be, but a longtime Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE official present at the meetings regarding the ferrying practice said that, quote, one of the closed-door meetings late last year included President Donald Trump and his Chief of Staff John Kelly, unquote. Now, could the ICE official be lying? Of course he or she could be. But the word is evidently getting out that illegals have little to fear, as Judicial Watch reports that there has been a resurgence of aliens crossing from Mexico after the initial Trump-induced immigration slump. Quote, in a period of a few months, border crossings skyrocketed from 11,100 in a single month to 26,000, unquote. However, this can't all be pinned on Trump. Quote, the head of the ICE Officers Union, Chris Crane, and the National Border Patrol Council, Brandon Judd, said detrimental old policies remain in place because Obama managers are still running their agencies, unquote. So for now, and for this, I'm going to give Trump a bit of a pass. We all know how deep and virtually impenetrable the deep state is. It will take a lot more time to dismantle than just 1 year. So let's trust that Trump sticks to his guns and insists on construction of a real border wall. If they can't cross in the first place, it'll go a long way to solving the problem of what to do with them once they're here. Thanks for listening.